Hey everybody, Traci Cornelius here. We are on week 34 of our pregnancy now. So this week the baby can be around about 4.5 to 5 pounds in weight. So getting a lot bigger now, which is quite exciting. The things that can happen from this week is it kind of feels like you're going backwards a little bit, because you can have a lot of symptoms that are very, very similar to the first trimester. That again is the tiredness and fatigue that I think I mentioned the last few weeks as well. If this is your first pregnancy, it's also likely that from now onwards the baby's head may start to get engaged, and basically that means that the baby's head drops and then sits into the pelvis. You will know if this happens. There's really kind of three main telltale signs. The first one is that you can breathe a lot easier, and that's because the baby is dropped. There's not so much pressure on the lungs and everything else, so it makes it a lot easier to breathe. The second is the fact that you need to frequently go to the toilet, and you might find that you're not actually going. You just constantly feel like you need to go. And then the third telltale sign is when you get a lot of pressure in the pelvis, and it can sometimes feel for some people as if the baby's going to fall out. It's not going to fall out, so don't panic, but that's what it can feel like. There's like a lot of pressure, a lot of pushing, that type of thing. If this is your second plus baby, it's very unlikely that your baby's head will engage at this point in time. If it does, it will often then come back out again, because usually from 2+ babies, the head usually engages pretty much when you're going into labour. So just a little bit of information on that one. So we've seen the midwife this week, and as I suspected, the baby has turned, so that's really good. When I show you the baby bump part, I'll show you where the heartbeat was, but that's very good. I'd already thought that because of the pressure being different, and also alleviating a number of other parts, if you like, inside. For me personally, the baby's head did go down from yesterday afternoon, and then it kept me up for most of the night because I needed to keep going to the toilet, and then at some point when I was walking back up the stairs, she came back out again, so I managed to get some sleep. Yay! But at this stage, sleeping is very on and off, very, very on and off indeed. So what else can I tell you about this week? So again, a lot of the things will be about preparation. So when I saw the midwife, it was all about the birthing plan, which means that I really need to get on and write mine. I pretty much know what I would like to happen, and I've mentioned this if you have watched the video that I've done one with regards to the midwife appointment. I'll link it in the box below anyway, but you can pretty much have an idea as to how you would like your perfect labour to go, but you do need to be extremely open-minded, because things just change and you have absolutely no idea, even if you've given birth before, of how you're going to feel when you're in labour with the child that you're carrying, because things change. They all change. And I have had a couple of questions actually about this, so I will do some videos with regards to my previous labours and the experiences that I had, because although there are a number of similarities, there are some patterns. Actually, every single one has been very different. And also I have personally been very different, so I will go through that. So birthing plan is the thing that I need to pretty much get sealed and just put in writing. Other thing that I've been doing this week is actually the midwife asked me if I had my hospital bag packed. And I went, no, not really at this early. I said in a couple of weeks' time I will. Around about 36 weeks is a good time. But then you have this little bit of paranoia that you think, does she know something that I don't know? Should I have it packed right now? Bearing in mind this is going to be the 5th child, it still surprises me that you go through these little moments of thinking, oh, I don't know anything, when in fact actually you do. But anyway, the things that I have started to get ready are things like the toiletries, again just so I can make sure that I have a list of the things that I still need to get, and that would be good in preparation. Other things that are getting very exciting is preparing the baby shower. I'm really excited about that, mainly just because when you've got so many children, or even in fact when you just have children, you don't seem to get to see as many people as perhaps pre-children. So any excuse where we can kind of get together and see each other and chat and catch up is just pretty awesome. And I've got some pretty amazing games to go through really with the baby shower to make it a lot of fun and that type of thing. So that I'm really excited about. Nevaeh, who is my 4-year-old, is getting pretty excited. She actually is the one that talks to the baby the most, but even Alina now will come up and stroke my tummy and say baby, which is pretty cute. And I have been pointing out to Alina, you know, I'll say Alina's bed, baby's bed. I think I may have mentioned this before when I said that I'd put the baby's cot up in the room. I do tend to do it quite early, and I try and do little steps so that the girls are prepped as much as possible for the new arrival. The last thing I'd ever want to do is just suddenly go, oh hey, the baby's arrived, and you know, and then the cot goes up and then more toys come out and all of these type of things, because it would just be so much change all at once. So I try to do little bits so that they can get used to it. And it seems to have worked with the other two. We'll have to see how it works with Alina. Changes bodily wise is mainly about breathlessness. That has increased most definitely. Fatigue for doing even like the simplest tasks like walking up the stairs, walking the girls to nursery, even sometimes folding the washing. It's ridiculous that I find myself having to sit down now to fold the washing. And because I'm quite a proactive person, I find things like that really hard, because it just makes me feel like I'm making a mountain out of a molehill when I'm not really. It's just knackering. I've been very fortunate. My eldest daughter, who is 18, has been helping, so when she's done that or looked after the girls, then I have been sleeping. But the sleeping is like, I will sleep during the day if given the opportunity for about 4 hours straight. That's how tired I seem to be at the moment, which is a little bit crazy. Other things, dehydration seems to be a bit of an issue. I need to make sure that I keep my water intake up. I feel myself getting dehydrated quite quickly. I have periods of time where I'm hungry. I haven't really actually been that hungry throughout the entire pregnancy, but there's been a couple of times where I'm like, I really need food now, and that would again suggest to me about the baby's growth, but also my body getting ready to store up the energy and everything else ready for labour. So they're all pretty good signs, to be honest. My skin is still an issue, as you can probably see. This is also with makeup. It's still not like a full face of makeup. I need to get some different foundation because my pigment has changed quite a bit. But yes, and my hair, which is just a complete mess at the moment, but my sister's coming at the weekend. She is my hairdresser, so hopefully she can sort out this kind of mop. The difficulty is I'm still trying to grow it out, so there are going to be times where it absolutely does my head in. But I'm just going to have to live with that. What else can I tell you? Restless leg syndrome, that seems to have sparked up again. It was terrible last night. So again, that was another thing that would keep me awake. I'm also having more of an issue with pains in my hips when I'm trying to sleep. So I'm putting a pillow in between my knees, obviously to release some of the pressure. Those type of things, again, are completely normal. It's just as the baby is growing, it's putting different pressure on the joints and everything else within your body. So you may find having to negotiate different pillows, cushions, that type of thing to try and make sure you get a comfortable night's sleep. I think that is pretty much it for week 34. I will have another countdown because obviously we're now on 6 weeks to go, so I will cover a little bit more as to the items that I've already got, and the preparations, or the other preparations that we're doing ready for the baby's arrival. Oh, actually no, there is another thing. This is much more related to the pregnancy and probably panic as well. Even though, like I said, this would be the 5th baby in our household, I still, when I do sleep, have the most bizarre dreams. I had one the other day that, obviously I was pregnant with this child, and yet there was another child inside which was like developmentally 2 months behind. And so there was this mass panic of like, well, how am I going to cope with another 2 babies? I was expecting 1, not 2. And all this type of thing. I'm sure they're just moments of worry of what's going to happen when the new baby arrives, and like whether you're going to cope. And from my experience, you always do. There's never really a massive issue. It just fits in and you just kind of cope with everything and you just carry on as normal. But the thought processes behind can really mess with your mind as to how much you're going to be able to do. And I suppose because I've been so tired with the pregnancy, I'm really worried at how tired I'm going to be with the newborn and feeding, and still making sure that I get the girls to where they need to be on time, and still being the best mum for them and doing their activities and, you know, the ongoing day-to-day tasks that we do with them, because there isn't really a lot of time to rest. And I also don't tend to rest very much in the evenings, because that's when I work when the girls have gone to bed, and usually finish probably around about most of the time around about 11 o'clock. So yeah, there's not a lot of time to catch up when you're tired. So I think that's probably where my fear is stemming from. But if you're finding that, best thing to do if you can is just talk it through with somebody, whether that happens to be your partner, whether it's your friend, whether it's your mum, you know, that type of thing. There's so many crazy emotions that go on when you're pregnant, and also the different hormones, I swear, give you such vivid dreams. So yes, so that is another part to this week. Okay, so I think that pretty much rounds up. Like I said, I will do the countdown as well, so that will be up later on, and I will see you again when we are at 35 weeks. Oh no, I need to show you the bump. Sorry, that's how tired I am. Right, okay, so bump. So as you can see, big growth. She's getting a lot bigger. But you can see what I mean with regards to her being quite low down. And the pressure that you'll feel when your baby has dropped is here on the pelvis, which can be quite painful. Her heartbeat was around about this, yeah, it was this side, so around about here. So that's how I know that she's turned, as last time her heartbeat was actually up here, which is how we knew that she was breech. So yeah, So there we have it. That's 34 weeks. All right, guys, speak to you later. Bye.